burning questions about three teams?
Burning questions about three teams.
Okay, I want to start with the defending world champs, the Houston Astros. And the Astros, have they gotten better? Have they gotten worse? And that's not my first question. They have added Jose Abreu, and they have lost Justin Verlander, and I guess you could consider Michael Brantley a loss.
No,
as of right now,
they retained Michael Brantley.
They retained Michael Brantley. Sorry. So as of right now, Martin Maldonado and Corey Lee are splitting the catching duties. Around the infield, first to third, is Abreu, Altuve, Pena, Bregman. Outfield left to right is Alvarez, McCormick, Tucker, and Brantley is the DH. So almost an identical team, except Jose Abreu swaps in for Yuli Gurriel. Starting rotation, as it stands right now, Framber Valdez, Christian Javier, Lance McCullers, Luis Garcia, and Jose Urquidy / Hunter Brown. Hunter Brown's going to be in that starting rotation.
Yeah.
So no Verlander. My question is, are the Astros the most flawless team in the American League?
Yes.
Okay.
They have no weaknesses. And you could say, well, the catching position, Maldonado is still a weakness. And I'd say, okay, but find me 5 better defenders in Major League Baseball at the catching position than Martin Maldonado. I think you're going to have a tough time doing so. And you could probably find some backups somewhere that are only used for their defense and whatever. We can argue over numbers all day, but there's a reason that the best team in baseball continues to have Martin Maldonado catch games. They see the fan graphs and the WRC plus that you're seeing. They obviously have something that points to the fact that Maldonado has to stay at this position. They were in on Wilson Contreras, but they didn't want to pay the money that the St. Louis Cardinals paid. They've been in on guys before. They brought in Christian Vasquez. And how much did they use Christian Vasquez instead of Martin Maldonado? There's a lot of questions here. I side with the Astros having a good idea who they have. And I think it's on the backs of he has this incredible relationship with Framber Valdez, who has blossomed into one of the top 5 left-handed pitchers in baseball, who's still just 29 years old. Christian Javier, there seems to be something there. Lance McCullers, Garcia, and then Hunter Brown, who I think when we come out with our betting episode is going to be our rookie of the year. You're convincing me more and more. I'm falling in love with that pick there. So you could say the catching position. I would venture to say that you are wrong. I know he at 186. Astros, they have plenty of hitting. You could say center field. But again, I could venture to say, well, find me better defenders than Chas McCormick, and I think it's going to be tough to do so. Defense up the middle is a priority for this team, and then you have Jeremy Pena, who is already becoming one of the best defensive shortstops, and then you have Altuve manning second base. Kyle Tucker, he's just going to keep getting better. I think we forget he is only 26 years old. Hard to find a better hitter overall in baseball than Yordan Alvarez. Alex Bregman is a top 50 player in Major League Baseball, no doubt about it. And then you bring back Michael Brantley, who we know is just going to hit. And then you put the 2020 MVP at first base, which was their perceived weakness with Yuli Gurriel. And it was really just last year. So the offense is about as good as it can get. Rotation, about as good as it can get. We on the episode, which I highly recommend you listen with Foolish Baseball. He said it best. If there was a team that could lose Justin Verlander, it was the Houston Astros. Yes. And then you look at the bullpen. I mean, where is the weakness?
There's no weakness. I mean, Presley had a 2.98 ERA, but Ryan Presley's Ryan Presley. We know what he can do. Rafael Montero had a 2.4. They retained him on a multi-year deal. In 60 and a third innings, Brian Abreu had a sub-2 ERA. Abreu is fucking nasty. Ryan Stanek is nasty. He had a 1.15 in 54 innings.
And they didn't even use him that much in the playoffs. Ryan
Stanek,
that just goes to show how good their bullpen is, that a guy with a 1.15 ERA, he wasn't really used, and they won the World Series decently easy.
Now, next question. This team was so ridiculously healthy. They were the healthiest team in baseball this past year. And you got to credit the Houston Astros for that, right? It's not just happenstance. Like, you can take calculated measures to make sure your team stays healthy. And their starters, aside from Verlander with a calf thing at the end of the year, and he's 40, did not miss starts. Framber Valdez did not miss starts. Javier did not miss starts. Lance McCullers, he was a non-factor until the postseason. We should be gearing up for a full season of Lance McCullers here. My question is, if they do get hit by the injury bug, are they deep enough? Because you've got your four-man bench as it stands right now is Corey Lee, David Hensley, Mauricio Dubon, and Jake Myers, with Yainer Diaz waiting in the wings, with JJ Matejevich waiting in the wings. I mean, you got like a Bly Madris, who they just acquired, a Pedro Leon, a Justin Durden waiting in the wings. I'm not sure that they've got the talent that's able to adequately replace a starter if they do go down.
Maybe. But I look at this team and I think to myself, you never know, of course, but who's going down? I mean, unless you have
that's the thing. We
injury,
can't guess who's going down. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you could say Brantley. I'm more worried about the rotation with somebody going down rather than the offense. Because let's say Jose Altuve goes down, who was one of baseball's best hitters. He finished 4th in WRC Plus last year. Is a lineup of Brantley, Jordan, Bregman. How are they going to do it? They're not going to feel it. That's how good they are. So, and then you put Dubon at second base, and he'll be probably replacement level. He's not going to be below replacement level. Yeah. He's going to be fine. So, yes, if a big piece goes down, are they going to be perfect? No, but no team is. I'm more worried about Lance McCullers suffering another injury and them having to get a lot of innings from Jose Urquidy. That's why even though the Orioles should do it, the Astros getting Cueto, I think when we talked about, well, how is Cueto going to get innings? There is still the worry there of if one of those guys goes down, you would need an innings eater. And what better of an innings eater than a guy like Cueto, who won't be that expensive?
So to play devil's advocate, they already have 6 guys. So yeah, if one guy goes down, then they have 5.
Yes. I would just rather Cueto get in innings over Urquidy. I think that Cueto versus Luis Garcia in 2023, like we give Luis Garcia some love, but he's a good 5, but I think that's what he is. That's why we're splitting hairs here. We're talking about the best team in baseball.
That's what we do.
So if I'm the GM and I just want another level of safety, give me the Cueto, who has been consistent at least for the past 40 years in Major League Baseball. And the Astros will just tinker with something and he'll give you a 2.2 ERA. Probably win the Cy Young.
So, final question in regards to the Houston Astros. Not named Shohei Ohtani. Who's got better odds to win American League MVP than Yordan Alvarez?
Judge.
Is that it?
Probably.
Vlad Jr.?
No, I would put Yordan there because they both deal with the same thing where the defense doesn't really matter. I know, and Blue Jays fans are going to be upset with me saying, well, look at Vladdy's defense at first base. I promise you, if we get an MVP snubs, MVP defense at first base or defense at first base for an MVP doesn't really matter. It's who's going to hit better. And if I had to put a ticket somewhere, if I had to put my money down on somewhere, I would say that Yordan Alvarez has the better offensive season than Vladimir Guerrero Jr. does.
I just love that Yordan was a 300, 400, 600 hitter this year. He was a 306, 406, 613 slash in 561 plate appearances.
I also like that Yordan, remember at the end of the playoffs there was a problem with Yordan. It was
but he hit a ball to the fucking moon.
I was about to tee that up. I was like, he had that one problem with the high fastball, and then Jose Alvarado drops it this much for all on YouTube, this much, and he hits it to the freaking moon. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't see much of an issue for Yordan Alvarez. Well, Vladdy doesn't get much better than him offensively, but he did struggle a little bit last year. I expect him to make the adjustments, and he'll probably be 4th when preseason MVP voting comes out, but we'll see. Oh, also, what about Ohtani's teammate, Mr. Michael Trout?
Oh, I forgot about that guy.
Yeah, he's pretty good. Stays healthy, he's pretty good.
Fair. All right, moving to the LA Dodgers here. We got 2 teams in the NL West to wrap this thing. the Dodgers, yes, they should be considered one of the favorites to get out of the National League, but for the last couple of years, it's been Dodgers versus the field, right? They've been so much better. And then all of a sudden, this really quiet offseason comes around. And, it's nice that you've got a couple of guys that are out, like, Justin Turner finished the year incredibly strong. Like, that is a loss that they got to deal with. But it's kind of nice that they don't have to give Cody Bellinger at bats anymore, to be totally honest. But the problem is, what do they replace him with in the lineup? I want to talk about the lineup first and then the starting rotation, because that's where my biggest question lies. As of right now, Will Smith is the catcher with Austin Barnes as his backup. The first baseman is Freddie Freeman. Second base, Chris Taylor, likely. Gavin Lux is the shortstop. Max Muncy at third base. James Outman in left. Trace Thompson in center. Mookie Betts in right. JD Martinez, who they signed as the DH. And Miguel Vargas and Jason Hayward are currently on the bench. I think this lineup lacks depth to win the World Series. Do you think they are top-heavy enough to overcome the lack of depth?
No, because I don't think that they're better than the Houston Astros. And if we're talking about winning the World Series, you have to pit them up against the best teams in baseball. And the best team in baseball going into this season is the Houston Astros. The Astros, they have moderate weaknesses when you could point to the catcher, center fielder, I guess. But it's ambitious to put Gavin Lux at shortstop. He was already dealing with the fact that he couldn't throw the ball over from second base to first base. And now you're going to put him at shortstop. I know he came up as a shortstop, but there's a reason they moved him off there. I know that they had Seager and they had Trey Turner. So what, you're going to put him at shortstop? No, but there's a reason that they put him at second base, and then he didn't perform all that well at second base. And now you're going to move over to shortstop. That's ambitious. Chris Taylor, worst offensive season we've seen from him in a while, and he's only getting older. Now he's your everyday second baseman. You lose that positional versatility with Chris Taylor by putting him at a sole position. Don't love that. Trace Thompson, that's your guy? I know he hit really well, but is that your guy at 32 years old? James Outman. Now, in 16 games, he was unbelievable offensively, but it's a minuscule sample size. What are we going to see from him? Remember, he was a 7th rounder. The Dodgers, they love to turn 7th rounders into everyday regulars. The next one is James Outman, but is he the guy? I want to see a lot of Miguel Vargas this year. I do. I really do think that you should put Vargas at third. You put Muncy at second, and then you put Lux at short.
And Taylor in center and Thompson to the bench?
I guess. Or I know they're both righties, but, platoon guys, or however you want to do it.
Timeshare.
That's how I would do it. I'm putting Miguel Vargas in the lineup opening day.
Miguel Vargas needs to start playing. He's got to start playing. He's 23 years old. He's been good enough for the last 2 years. Like, he needs to start playing Major League Baseball.
Absolutely. But there are holes on this team. But the Dodgers, what they're really good at is getting the most out of these guys. But it's just the most out of these guys. It's not the level of the Astros. So I can't say that they could win the World Series. Of course, anything could happen. But the Mets are pretty damn good. The Braves are pretty damn good. We're going to count out the Phillies after making that run. All they got to do is sneak in. And the Padres, if we're looking at projected WAR, the Padres are over the Dodgers. So no, this is the one season where I'm not thinking to myself, oh yeah, pencil the Dodgers into the World Series, even though they haven't really been making it.
Yeah.
No, I can't pencil the Dodgers in unless they make real changes.
Yeah, and I know we're going to eat our words on guys like Yanni Hernandez and Jason Hayward, and even Trace Thompson again. I love what James Outman can do, and I think that he's going to be a great big leaguer for them.
Define great.
I think that he's going to be great for them. I think he's going to be a 700 to 750 OPS guy.
That's right. The reason I ask is I'm so unsure.
Yeah.
I'm so unsure. So I was really curious what you meant by that.
He's got tools out the ass.
He does. Absolutely.
Crazy tools.
And he slugged 862 in 16 games for them.
Yeah. Shit, dude. He hit 462.
Yeah.
So 16 plate appearances, not 16 games. But
16 plate appearances. Excuse me.
we can bank on all these guys being good. Like we can bank on Vargas being good. We can bank on, Andy Pages getting his first taste of big league baseball, or Ryan Ward getting his first taste of big league baseball and being good if injuries strike the LA Dodgers. But, for the sake of this conversation, I want to not assume that these guys are going to automatically be good. On paper, can they survive 162?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, of course they can. Because to your point, what the Astros lack, the Dodgers have in depth in their farm system.
A farm.
I mean, if you were
they don't have depth
about,
at the big league level, they have depth in the farm.
Exactly. Like we could see Bobby Miller this year. We could see Gavin Stone this year. We could see Andy Pages. We could see a lot of these guys. Like we are in for Miguel Vargas could go off. Like,
yes.
This guy is really good. And he can play left. He's shown that he can play left as well.
So that takes me to the starting pitching conversation. And my question was going to be, can this rotation survive without Walker Buehler, who is the best innings eater in baseball by my money? So you've got Kershaw, Urias, Tony Gonsolin, Noah Syndergaard, who you just signed, and Dustin May, who's working his way back from TJ. You've got Bobby Miller and Gavin Stone waiting in the wings. You also have Ryan Pepio waiting in the wings. Is this starting rotation good enough to dominate in the way that we have been accustomed to the Dodger rotation dominating?
I kind of love it. I know it sounds weird, and there's a lot of injury concerns there with Dustin May and Clayton Kershaw, of course.
Yeah.
But Urias is one of the best pitchers in the sport.
Yes.
Tony Gonsolin was on a Cy Young track. Now, does he replicate that success? Probably not. But if he regresses, he's still going to be pretty damn good. And Syndergaard, that just feels like a Dodgers turning him into back to 99 or something.
No shot he's back to 99. Promise you that. I'll get an ass tat if he's back to 99 miles an hour. Fair?
Stop. You and Aram need to stop doing this.
No, I'm in. Like, I already have tats. Like, that's the thing with
Okay.
Aram. He never had one, so he was like terrified of that. I already have one, so I'll get like a Noah Syndergaard ass tat or something.
Listeners of the Just Baseball Show, please remember this. Please.
If Noah Syndergaard, how about this? If Noah Syndergaard breaks triple digits this coming year, I'll get an ass tat.
Good. I don't know why everyone on this podcast is promising ass tattoos or promising tattoos in general and takes. Sure, I thought I was a hot take guy. And now you are not only making a take. Well, it's not even a hot take for him. A hot take for me is for him to get to 99. I hope he's throwing 100. That's all I can say.
He won't. But not only are they trying to replace what Walker Buehler typically gives them on a year-to-year basis, but remember, this rotation is also without Tyler Anderson, who's in Anaheim now. They're also without Andrew Heaney, who's in Texas now. So you've got to fill these innings, man. And I think that they need to rely on Bobby Miller and Gavin Stone. And selfishly, I think they're ready for that.
But here, how about this? Find an organization with two better pitching prospects than those two. You can say the Phillies with Painter and Abel, maybe.
Maybe.
We could go around. But I'm talking about MLB ready right now. Name an organization with two pitchers that are both top 30 guys that are going
just about for sure top 50,
like these guys. I can't off the top of my head. Maybe the Rays, if you count Shane Boston with Taj Bradley, but you can't because he's been a big leaguer now. Maybe the Guardians there with Espino and Gavin Williams.
But Espino's coming off a shoulder thing.
That's what I'm saying. It's the Dodgers.
Yeah, it's the Dodgers. I mean, Bobby Miller and Gavin Stone are both consensus top 100. I think they're both top 50 in just baseball's top 100.
And if you haven't heard about these two motherfuckers, Bobby Miller looks like Walker Buehler right now. Now he doesn't have the
bigger legs.
With bigger legs. He's
like a beefy Walker Buehler.
He doesn't have the command that Buehler does, but this dude throws fuzz. And then Gavin Stone might be a better overall pitcher than him. So these guys could be aces in our league one day, and they got both of them, and that's just in case Urias, Kershaw, May. And May went on. May is like Glasnow. When May pitches, when Glasnow pitches, you watch the television and think to yourself, how do these guys ever give up hits?
Dude, I don't know.
Not runs. Hits.
I don't know. Can I just say I'm so stupidly excited for a full season of McClanahan and Glasnow together.
Oh, I can't wait.
I can't wait.
That's why I said New Year's resolution, please stay healthy.
Yeah.
Because Spriggs and Rasmussen are great too. Like they're loaded.
Rasmussen's no joke.
And if Wander plays a full 162.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right. Last one that we got to go over here is San Diego. And San Diego has obviously made some massive splashes. No more massive than Xander Bogaerts, who signed a $280 million deal for 11 years. So as of right now, and I was talking to, and I know you know him as well, Ben Stevens on Sports Grid. I hopped on Sports Grid the morning after, and this was right after the Bogaerts thing. This was the morning after the Xander Bogaerts thing. And I didn't call him the most talented or the best team. I told him, I called them the most top-heavy team that we've seen in a really long time.
Huh.
Because, yes, you've got Juan Soto and Manny Machado and Xander Bogaerts and Jake Cronenworth, but then you fill out the rest of the lineup with, and working from top to bottom, like Ha-Sung Kim, who's really good. I love Ha-Sung Kim. Matt Carpenter, who had a rejuvenation, but then Austin Nola, Trent Grisham, Jose Azocar, Matthew Batten, Brandon Dixon, Max Schrock are on the bench. And then pitching-wise, Darvish, Musgrove, Snell, great. Then Nick Martinez and Seth Lugo to figure out the five. They've got no farm. They've got Hader and Suarez and, Luis Garcia. But then you go to the Tim Hills and the Nabel Chrismats. Like, every aspect of their team is loaded at the top, and it quickly dissolves. Are they deep enough to be true World Series contenders?
It's all about Tatis. I mean, what are we going to get? Are we going to get elite Tatis? Are we going to get top 10 overall player in baseball Tatis? I assume that we will. I have no reason to believe that we wouldn't. But it's just hard when we're projecting and I have to take their 50th percentile outcome. I still think the Dodgers win this division. I still think the Dodgers will just figure out a way. I'm always in the boat of they have to prove it to me. And the Padres, so the thing is with regular season versus the playoffs, this Padres team is a phenomenal playoff team. You shorten the series, you get Darvish, Snell, Musgrove, you get the best bullpen arms, and you get the top-heavy offense. That's how they can roll. But over the regular season, this bottom of the team sucks. Like with James Outman compared to Jose Azocar, it's Outman by a trillion. Trent Grisham versus like a Trace Thompson, who I could be excited about, but we'll see what they do. Trent Grisham was terrible last year. I have no reason to believe that he's going to be any better. Austin Nola had that short stint in the playoffs. That's why the playoffs are so random, and that's why it's so awesome. But Austin Nola, I mean, come on. At 33, come on. Matt Carpenter, you know what I saw as a Yankee fan? Speaking Yankees to Padres fans, if you're listening, I'd be very afraid because he had that great start. And, those articles came out about how he fixed his swing and maybe he came back from injury too fast at 37 years old. And that's what led to the no-show at the end of the playoffs there. But let's not forget that the Yankees got Matt Carpenter for basically nothing. And then he came onto the scene and he was playing in Yankee Stadium. Now he's going to Petco.
You can't promise anything with Matt Carpenter. I don't want anybody to think that he is all of a sudden going to do what he did with the Yankees. There is a better chance that he hits below 200 than replicates what he did with the Yankees.
Agreed. I'm not going on record saying he's going to be terrible. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. This team is so tough to digest, man,
so
because
tough.
Part of me is thinking, okay, they can't spend more on what they might just send everybody out. They might spend even more. I have no idea what they're going to do, especially now in this post Steve Cohen world, right? I've got no fucking clue how other owners are going to go about building rosters.
This offense gets crazy when you can put Tatis in at left instead of
It's crazy, like nuts, stupidly nuts. But are they deep enough? And
they're in the conversation. They're in the conversation, but I think the main point of it is they didn't do enough in this offseason to say, all right, this is the Padres division now. This is the Padres making it out of the National League. They didn't. I still think of them in the same breath that I did last year. They're going to finish second. They're going to make the playoffs. They can make a run because they are this well-oiled playoff machine like the Phillies are, but they're not going to win 100 games. I don't even put them at 95 games. I think they win 91, 92. They make the playoffs, and we might just see the same thing happen all over again. I don't know, but they're going to be good.
This also totally slipped my my eyes in mid-December, like late December, right before Christmas. On December 19th, the Padres signed Pedro Severino to a minor league contract, the catcher who got popped for PEDs. So they've got 2 ped guys. It's fucking awesome.
It is awesome.
Awesome.
I feel so bad for Tatis, man. I do.
Why?
Because I love him. I love him to death.
He did it to himself.
I know. He is, we forget how phenomenal it is to watch him play baseball.
Yeah, no, it's so much fun, but it is.
Besides Ohtani, it's Tatis for me in terms of entertainment factor.
Correct. But can we acknowledge that it is and will continue to be for the rest of his career a tainted product?
Of course. And that's what sucks. That's why I feel bad.
Now, rebuttal to my own point here. Tainted products are still really fun to watch. I think everybody had a really good time watching Barry Bonds when he was at the peak of his powers, even though it was a tainted product. In hindsight, like I remember my first baseball memories were Sammy Sosa. I don't care that he juiced because he provided my first great baseball memories. And I know like it goes into something a little bit bigger than that. And hey, we're in Hall of Fame conversation already. And there's really like no juicers that are at the peak of the Hall of Fame conversation. And the Hall of Fame conversation, by the way, is a lot quieter now that Bonds and Clemens are in it. But I don't know. I am firmly like, this is an entertainment business. That was a part of baseball history. It's not okay, but like, I acknowledge that it's a museum and they should be in. And I still derived a ton of enjoyment watching them in their later years. Like I was born in 98. I do remember watching 2004 Barry Bonds. I do remember watching, early 2000s Sammy Sosa. So I derive enjoyment from that. I'm still going to derive enjoyment from watching Fernando Tatis when he comes back midway through this season. But it is a tainted product and I won't ignore that.
Yeah, we're human beings. Even I'm certainly not going to talk about my opinion on the whole Trevor Bauer thing, but as human beings, you're going to watch his first start.
Shit. I don't think he starts again, but that's a conversation.
Maybe not.
Doesn't need to be had on this pod.
No, yes, exactly. And no, I think it's, we're all human beings. At the end of the day, this is an entertainment process. This is an entertainment business.
Yes.
And like Trevor Bauer throws at a game, I'm watching game 1. As much as you can hate him, if you like him, I don't care. I don't have an opinion. Well, I do have an opinion, but I'm not about to say it here. I'm watching that game. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. Everything you need is in the show notes. We'll save the MVP snubs. Fair?
Let's save the MVP snubs. Go check it out. It's in the episode description. Top 10 all time. I didn't put my own personal. Oh, well, I think that WAR is so important. I think that MVP success of the team matters. This is not about that. These are the actual snubs. These are the actual snubs when they had all the information and they still screwed it up.
Yeah.
Go check that out in the episode description and go check out the episode with Foolish Baseball, one of my favorite interviews we've ever done. He was awesome. Bailey Freeman. Definitely go continue to check out his YouTube channel. And how about our YouTube channel? If you're watching us on YouTube, what's going on? Thank you for listening. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Tell us in the comment section what you think about the Dodgers, the Astros, the Padres, all those asinine Brian Reynolds trades. And we appreciate you listening. 2023 is our year, Jack McMullen.
Yes, it is.
And with that, thank you, everybody.